Well, you know, on the first day of July in the year 1863,
Do you want the microphone?
in and around a small little Pennsylvania town called Gettysburg, was fought the bloodiest battle ever to take place on the North American continent. 50,000 American lives vanished into the mist and smoke and flame of the human storm. Several months later, I myself was in that little town of Gettysburg. I'd been invited by the governor of Pennsylvania to make a few appropriate remarks at a cemetery where our soldiers were buried. Come on in there, honey. Now, you need to understand, I was not the main speaker. No, they made sure another man got that honor. His name was Edward Everett. Come on in.
Oh.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Edward Everett was the most famous speaker in America. I don't know why he was famous. He was just famous. Well, he stood up there on the platform and he addressed the crowd for almost 3 hours. His speech was 30 pages long. Tell me something he said. You see, folks, people will remember you not for how much you say, but what you say. Not for how much you write, but what you write. Everett spoke for 3 hours. I spoke less than 3 minutes. My speech only has 10 sentences in it, 272 words, and if there are any educators among you, only 18 of those words have more than 3 syllables. It was a very plain and simple speech, and even though I thought it was a complete failure, some people said they remembered it. This is what I said on that cold November afternoon. I said, 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, we're engaged in a great civil war testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We're met on a great battlefield of that war. We've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It's altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggle here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will no longer remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It's for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It's rather that we be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us. That from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom in the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.
That poser right there, he's okay. First under the Constitution, what we're worried about, right? Articles of Confederation was passed. 1777, they put it out there, ratified in 81, it was a mess. That's why Madison and I decided what? Get rid of the mess.
Well, would you like to do that for our present mess?
Due to that fact that I know there are probably Democrats and Republicans on the bus, and I pretty much am neither one, because what did I advise in the farewell address? Stay away from parties.
Stay away from parties.
Because what happens with parties? Parties eventually start looking out for party instead of country. Right? So wouldn't it be nice if we had done it, heeded my advice back then, done what was best for the country and not worried about the party? Went and served, done your duty, and went back home. I think we could have fixed that way back then if we would have put in term limits. The Constitution was a work in progress. It wasn't the most perfect thing, but look at it now. It's the longest surviving Constitution in the world. And that was from gentlemen with mindsets of 200 plus years ago.
Well,
So-
old people are smart. That'll prove it.
Yes, they are. I reached 60, so I consider myself old enough. And if you know anything about my longevity, and so I got about 7 years to go before that little throat problem takes me out of the running. But, enjoy reading Pennsylvania.
It's ready.
Reading, okay. I must be from out of state because you know, I know I've heard it pronounced, but either way.
Yes, that's right.
What's that? Anything. I mean that comment. Have a good day. Enjoy.
Thank you, General.
Send me a picture of my picture so I can put it on my wall. Button up so I can-
And I have a little card.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Push up, push down, and up. There you go.
I know, but I didn't want to hurt him.
It's a quiet car, This is Flight 93 Memorial. This where I'm facing is the path coming this direction towards me is where the plane was heading before it crashed on September 11th, 2001. That area right here, we see the sidewalks, and over here, this is the direction it's heading. On the other side of that is where it hit. I'm gonna walk over to that direction and show you in just a moment. Now here's the rest of the scenery as we are looking. Beautiful place. Now I was told that, well, we won't go there. I'll leave that out of this. So here we go. We'll be back. There is a lot of wind right now. So I'm just apologizing. This is the path that Flight 93 was taking as it was heroically stopped. Stay tuned for another video. Okay, first I'm going to stand here and show you This is Flight 93. I don't know if you want the memorial. Okay, I'm sorry.